Well, that's an interesting turn up for the books today. October the 19th, the Chief Exec has given his sort of maiden policy address. It's a work in progress as we speak, but he has laid out some enhancements to our immigration policy, which are designed to both attract foreign businesses to Hong Kong and also prescribed talents. We've apparently had 140,000 talents leave Hong Kong. That'll be a mixture of foreign nationals who were here providing assistance to our economy prior to the riots and obviously COVID, and then obviously the local young people have left. About 110,000, I think, we've lost over the last 2 or 3 years. To jurisdictions such as Canada, Australia, and especially under the BNO program. So all good stuff, going to all go well for Hong Kong. So what has he said? What have we got? Well, there's going to be a new government bureau set up specifically to provide support to international enterprises from certain particular sectors that are deemed to be attractive to Hong Kong and form part of our economic development policy roadmap. And they're going to be active both in Hong Kong and overseas. They're also going to reach out to the top 100 universities in the world to try to fish for talent from those universities. And also there's going to be the establishment of a kind of a co-investment fund that will facilitate attractive propositions for businesses internationally that are in certain sectors to come and get themselves set up in Hong Kong, and obviously facilitating the talent that will be necessary to give effect to the underlying policy underneath those plans. So that's kind of like the big picture, attractive intention, if you will, attention to attract. What have we got? The Immigration Department are going to enhance some of the existing immigration programs, which I'll detail now, and also introduce a new program called the Top Talent Pass Scheme. So what have we got in terms of enhancement to the existing programs? Well, under our general employment policy and the admission scheme for mainland talents and professionals, the Immigration Department are going to be granting 3-year limits of stay out of the starting gate, as opposed to the normal 2-year limit of stay. Moreover, if an applicant under the general employment policy or the top talent, or under the admission scheme for mainland talents and professionals is a professional that is on the talent list. She's presently found in the Quality Migrant Admission Scheme. That's going to be updated by the end of this quarter, by the way. But if they're in one of the 13 employment sectors in the top talent list, and they can show that they've had a 2 million Hong Kong dollar prior year salary, there will be no requirement for the testing of the local labour market in relation to those applications for that status. So interesting update in terms of the admission scheme for mainland talents and professionals, and also the general employment policy. Secondly, there are going to be enhancements to the Quality Migrant Admission Scheme. This is the top-notch talent, as Tung Chi Wai once quoted it, scheme that has been struggling, I think, in terms of its overall objectives down the years because of its limited scope and the quota and the amount of time that it usually takes to get approved under that program. Well, the enhancements are they're going to remove the quota, so it's kind of open to all comers, which is interesting, and also that the process is going to be speeded up. So that definitely gives us another arm to our immigration processes that will enable visas to be had and get talent here more quickly. They are also going to do an announcement to the Technology Talent Admission Scheme, which I always thought was a bit of a dog's breakfast. It still is, because of the fact that it's kind of like anchored to the research organizations, institutions that are government accredited in Hong Kong. But one of the killers to that program, in my view, in terms of its wider accessibility and availability to most businesses, for the fact that there was a kind of a contingent recruitment, local recruitment component to that program. So that's now being removed. That's all good. Another enhancement under the immigration arrangements for non-local graduates. This now means that all fresh graduates, these are those who have student visas, have finished their formal course of studies at a recognized tertiary education institute in Hong Kong and have are seeking to move into the workforce, they can secure a no questions asked. It used to be 1 year employment visa under the immigration arrangements for non-local graduates. That's being upped 2 years. So that's an enhancement, as well as the Hong Kong University Greater Bay Area campus, which is in Shenzhen, I believe. Graduates from that campus now can automatically qualify under the immigration arrangements for non-local graduates. That's a new addition. So that's good. So the newcomer on the block is the Top Talent Pass scheme. So what this basically means is that if you're of a particular professional standing, you can come to Hong Kong and get a 2-year visa without a job offer. Essentially, you need to have graduated from one of the top 100 universities that are listed as part of the Quality Migrant Admission under that program. Provides extra points for qualification under that scheme. But if you have graduated from one of the top 100 universities and in the last 12 months you've had a mean average salary of 2.5 million Hong Kong dollars, and you've got 3 years post-graduation working experience, then you can qualify for a no employer required employment visa under the Top Talent Pass scheme, and there's no quota associated with it. So those are the bare bone details that I've got at the moment. The government will be releasing more details over the next few days and weeks. I'll update my website and the Hong Kong Visa Handbook accordingly once we know what the nitty-gritty of it all is. So that's it. Good news for Hong Kong. Good news for immigration practitioners too. Lots of new stuff going on. Lots of new advice to impart and plenty, hopefully, of new people to assist.